Hey everybody, good morning. How you doing? This is Kaylana here. And so, yes, I am wearing my Instacart shirt. I know that you guys had seen my previous videos and you're like, oh, and I was like, oh yeah, I won't wear them. But yeah, I had on my other, like my old school Instacart shirt. And for those of you guys that are new, you probably haven't seen them, of course, but they're green with like white lettering for the logo. And so the reason why I had wore my t-shirt, you guys, was because I'm shopping in a new zone and I shop different zones. And so even though like there's some that I primarily shop in, sometimes you have to kind of take whatever you're able to get. And to my surprise, I liked it. And so I just felt led to wear my shirt in a new zone. And for one thing, it's great for the marketing, especially when you're in an area that's has a lot of people, big, like if it's big, then yeah, it's good to do that because it benefited me because yesterday when I was shopping in this particular zone, and it was very far away from my house. It was so far. It was far. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to make that money. And so I had to drive all the way out there. And anyway, I noticed a lot of customers that were in the grocery store. They were just watching me, and so like I would just walk around, shop for the groceries, for my customers, and I saw people kind of occasionally glance at my t-shirt, or like they would try to read the back of my shirt. And so yeah, I was like, okay, it works out and stuff. And so I think people are also like when they see Instacart, they're probably wondering, okay, what is it? Like, what do you do and stuff like that. And so a lot of people are interested in getting their groceries delivered and stuff like that. So, yeah, so I'm not saying I'm going to be doing this all the time, but at least for me, this is what I just felt led to do. Going into new zones, it doesn't matter how far or how close it is to you, wherever you shop at, it's a good thing to at least wear your shirt or your lanyard. But for me, I would say the shirt, because if it's going to be a place, especially a high traffic area, definitely, so that way you can be busy. But anyway, that's that. And so yesterday, I actually did a vlog because my intention was to vlog for you guys when I was out there, but it was so busy, and for a while it got kind of slow because just because it just was. And so then I was just busy nonstop, and so I did really, really good yesterday. And anyway, I hate working on Sundays, but I got to pay the bills, and so it is what it is. And I had a pretty good day yesterday and things like that. But I wanted to share with you guys some things in regards to kind of being a success when you're shopping in a new zone. Now, especially like I know how it is when you have to go outside of your zone that you normally work in, and I know how uncomfortable it can be, especially when you're going so far away. It depends. Now, some of you guys are probably shopping in a zone, that is within your reach as far as where you live, okay? And when you're going into a new zone, like even if you've been with Instacart for a little while or for a long time and things like that, one suggestion I would say is, now this is for new zones. This isn't like when you, like go to a zone that you don't work in. I'm talking about if Instacart just opened up a new zone. This is probably something that you should just maybe think about. Now, this is something that I do, or I would do, but you don't have to take this advice or anything. But one thing I learned, this is something that I'm learning even as I'm growing as an adult, is that kind of plan before you get there. Because typically when Instacart opens up new zones, they send out a text message or a memo on your app stating where the stores are going to be in that particular zone. They also give you information on how to set yourself up for success, whatever. But and they also talk about, ways that you can improve your metrics, just things like that. And so really for me, even though I take into account what they say, because I understand that even though there's a lot of drama going on with the company, I still look at the fact that, you still got to work. Okay. And so I just take that into account. And then also I remind myself, okay, when you're going into a new zone, it's good to have a positive attitude. And I know that they stated that, in their memo, but really it's true. Now, I might not agree with everything that Instacart does and says, but that is true. And benefited me yesterday because even though I never shopped, I mean, I've been in this area before, but it's so far away. And so it's like, okay, but I've only been there like when I had to go out there to help somebody. And I was like going to the stores. Now, I was actually able to interact with some of the staff and stuff, but it wasn't a whole lot. And they were nice and friendly. Like, when, I guess they're so used to seeing Instacart shoppers and stuff like that because of our t-shirts. And so they were really nice and friendly, and they asked a lot of questions as normal. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like to wear my t-shirts, because I get asked a lot of questions or I get stopped. People, and there's nothing wrong with questions or anything, but it's just that when I'm shopping, I'm trying to go and they want to stop and talk and ask all these questions and start, whatever. But that's one thing is like, I was friendly with all the staff. Everybody was great. And also that one thing that I noticed, that even shopping in a new zone, that I had to also think about is planning ahead. Now, before you get there, making sure that you have plenty of gas, depending on how far it is, or it might be somewhere close to you, doesn't matter. Make sure you have plenty of gas. And also, this is something I do. If it's a zone that you're not familiar with, like Instacart gives you like that text message that'll show you what area the stores are. Okay. So for instance, like there's like a link that'll show you where the stores are within that zone. And so what I do is I go to that link and I look at it on the map, and I save it in my bookmarks on the browser, or I download it to my home screen on my phone. So that way I can always kind of look around to see where I'm at, because some zones are very big, like they are very large. And so you have to kind of go to a store that works for you. Okay. And so, also what I did was I made sure that, I was in an area, of course, where the store was. Now, normally I would not sit around and wait at a store. I just don't do that. And that's kind of like a waste of time for me. And it's hot here. And so it's okay to go to a library or a bookstore or, a coffee shop, wherever, but I just don't. But only because usually I try to shop at stores or stay in a zone where I live. Okay. But sometimes you may have to go outside of a place that's kind of far away, or that's not a place or zone that you normally go to. And so I plan ahead and I see, okay, where are the grocery stores? Where are the stores that I have to shop at? And I save the bookmarks on my home screen, so that way I can always know what zones to go to, because what stores to go to, because some stores are far. Oh my God. And I know before Instacart used to have it to where you were able to, excuse me, pick which stores you wanted to go to that was inside your zone, that were approved stores. They don't do that anymore. So now you kind of have to go to the store that they choose. Okay. And so, I don't know, they're trying to penalize people for that, which I don't think is right, but whatever. And so some stores that you guys go to may not have been, even though it's the same chain, they may not have been, I guess, how can I say this, like teamed up with Instacart, or they may not have integrated their system with Instacart just yet. So even though you might shop at a Wegmans or a Strata Brothers or a Publix or a Whole Foods or Costco, whatever, not all stores have partnered with Instacart just yet. So they're still integrating everything. And they also have to let their staff know, train their staff and stuff. And so that's kind of how that works. And so, also, like I said, I find out what stores to go to, and I save that on my Waze, because normally, like when I use a GPS, I use Waze. And so, in my Waze, I've been doing this since the beginning, even since I've been doing Uber, is that on Waze, I save the store. So if it's a store that I know that I'm going to go to frequently, or even if it's a store I don't know, I'll just save that, like as far as like the address, and I'll just put in the name, I'll edit it, and then I'll save it as like one of my favorites. So that way, once before I begin my shift, I can go ahead and head to that store. Okay. And it's kind of trial and error. You kind of can pick around what you want to do. But yesterday I kind of had an idea what stores I was going to be going to frequently, because it was a new zone, but I was just mad busy and stuff like that. So also another good suggestion is when you start to prepare to go to these stores, like for instance, like if you have to go to a zone that's far away, like some people have to drive far. Now, this isn't for everybody, so don't get upset when I say this, but if you go to a zone that's far away, it doesn't matter how far it is. I don't care if you're driving, an hour or 2 hours away. That's your prerogative, okay? Make sure that you leave early, like in case there's traffic, in case something happens to your car, in case there's whatever. Leave early and don't try to drive around. Make sure that you know where you're going before you get there. Like I said, you plan your trip. So you just find a local store to go to, excuse me, and then you just kind of wait around that area. And also you can try to look up areas or things to do in that particular area where the stores are. So you just won't be sitting around in your car or sitting around in the grocery store or something. Maybe go to a library, or maybe if there's a bookstore. I don't know about a park because I don't know what the weather's like where you are, but those are some ideas I would suggest that you do. Like plan ahead to find something to do in case it's not busy, like if it's slow, things like that, because even, with new zones, it may not be busy right away. There may be certain days where it's busy and there may be certain days where it's not. And so as you continue to, learn and grow, and even if you have to pick hours in this zone and it might be slow, just try to find things to do ahead of time. And my suggestion is, usually I like to say, sorry, itchy. It's libraries are usually good places. Like Starbucks, sometimes I go to Starbucks, things like that. But with it being here in Florida, even though the weather's changing, starting to get a little bit cooler, it's hot. And so it might be a good suggestion to go to a library. Some people go to a Barnes and Noble, but some of you guys may be in areas where there's none of that, you out in the country. Here in Florida, I get that a lot. I go to zones sometimes where it's just nothing but country. And so you have to plan your own thing. And even to save money, pack your own food. That's what I did. Like last night, even though I got home very late, I was so tired. I made some falafel. Because I'm vegan. It smells good. I made some homemade falafel. I love falafel. This stuff is so good. I don't have any dip or anything, but I was gonna bring some hummus, but hummus, chickpeas, they're really gassy, and so I don't want to be in a store messing up people. And also yesterday I bought some ambrosia apples. I ate one. I love ambrosia apples, y'all. If you guys get a chance to buy these ambrosia, these things taste so good. All apples don't taste the same. And these particular apples are sweet. It's almost like eating a piece of candy. They are so good. And some apples I'll buy and may not eat the whole thing or the whole bag or whatever. But these, yeah, ambrosia apples. And so I made some oatmeal this morning. Also, of course, I brought my own breakfast with some flaxseed. It's organic oatmeal. I put flax seeds in there. And that's about it. Usually I'll pack a little bit more. I have any chunks. I got these from Costco a while back. Seaweed crisps. And I bought this about 2 weeks ago from Whole Foods. About a week and a half ago, I think. It's like a granola mix. It's like a pumpkin granola mix with pumpkin seeds or something. But yeah, I try to bring my own food, but I always end up buying something from the grocery store, like a sub or something, where I get something. And so it's good to plan ahead. And so yeah, y'all, that's just, those are my 2 cents, especially when you're going to new zones, is to try to plan ahead if you can. And I know sometimes when you go to a new zone, it might be slow for a while, especially because most people don't even know that Instacart exists. Excuse me. And so you might be sitting around doing nothing. But also what I do, I think I mentioned this before, is I work on my goals, okay? This says, faith plants the seed, love makes it grow. Okay. And I'm a believer. And so this is one of my journals when I write down my ideas, like when I work on my ideas and my business goals and things I'm trying to do, websites I'm trying to build, things like that. I have a journal and I write down ideas. It doesn't mean that all these ideas will come into fruition or it will work, but I just write down things. And because the Bible says that you're supposed to write the vision down and make it plain. And so any ideas or just business ventures, I want to do anything, ministry things, I don't know, whatever, I write it down. And so I'll work on it. And then if it doesn't go, if it doesn't fly, that means that it just wasn't meant to be, or it's not meant to be at that time. And so I'm working on some projects and things like that. And so there's some things I'm trying to get together and put together. And so when I have my downtime from Instacart, that's what I do sometimes, is when I'm not tired, you know, I write down the vision and I write down my ideas. And so I would suggest you guys do that in your downtime and stuff like that. If you really want to be a success, if you really want to do things outside of this app-based gig economy, is to start working on your goals and start working on your dreams, and make sure you write it down, because you might have a great idea that'll pop into your head out of nowhere, and you think about it, but then you kind of forget about it as you go. So just write it down. Or maybe if you, of course, have your smartphone, download an app like Evernote. Evernote is very good, and you can jot down notes. And there's tons of apps where you can just make notes and stuff like that. So that's just a suggestion for me to pass the time, especially if it's a slow day, nothing to do, or maybe if you're off and stuff like that. But that's normally what I do. And also, before I go, like, I'm all about cleanliness. I'm so funny. And even though, like, I sweat a lot, got some stuff going on with my thyroid or whatever, hormones, whatever. But I like to stay clean. That's just me, you know. And I like to, like, this is just me. You know, these are like wipes. You can use these. You can buy any type of wipes, you know, wipe your arms, your face, wherever, all over your body, like whatever. And so I like to stay clean and fresh, especially being here in Florida. It's hot, and you're gonna sweat. And so I like to just, I don't want to be passing by people in the grocery store smelling like sweat. And this is me, so I like to stay clean and fresh. And so that's how I roll. So yeah, guys, things are going pretty good. I mean, you know, I'm still able to get hours and stuff, but I'm still working on some other things, focusing on some other things. Also, before I go, I finally got Boost with Uber Eats. Now, you guys know I've been with Uber since last year for over a year. And I finally got Boost because I had to create another Eats account. It's just like a separate Eats account. And through a suggestion from another Uber driver here in Orlando. And so I signed up under his link because we support one another like that. And last week I did like 26 deliveries for Uber Eats. It was almost 30. And then this morning when I checked my app, sure enough, I got Boost, because he sent me a message yesterday, and he said, hey, has it going to get Boost yet? I'm like, no, because I've seen people make a lot of money when they get, like, when they do Uber Eats, and like when they do the Boost, like whenever because you guys know when you get a Boost, they pay you like a certain percentage extra. And I've seen people make almost $1,000 here in Orlando, like doing Boost. And so that's the best time in drivers, when there's a Boost. And so I'm very excited about that, which means extra money. So any days that I'm not doing Instacart, if I don't take a day off, or if I can't get the hours, I'll do either Grubhub, DoorDash, you know, Uber Eats. Now I'm doing Bite Squad, but I'm not quite sure about Bite Squad yet. But anyway, and so with that being said, I can make some extra money. And so that works out for me. So anyway, guys, it's been like, I know it's like a long video. I apologize. It's almost like 20 minutes long. But I just want to let you guys know how I'm doing. So things are all right. And there's some more stuff I want to share with y'all. But I'm going to edit this video, and then I'm going to put it up here and talk to you soon.